cigarette smoking leads to the penitentiary or the madhouse.
What you getting today?
It's nothing, man. I slept until like noon.
God damn.
Then when I woke up, Kwame wanted to play games, so he played games. I got a bunch of stuff on the whiteboard that I need to get done, and then on the other side of the whiteboard, I got like a daily schedule for me to produce and edit stuff.
Nice.
And so basically, I just been putting that together, and then now I was going to check the I didn't even start today's blog feed. So like if I go to today, it will take me to yesterday's. But yeah, I was gonna go into Connect and check the podcast, and then work on the main page for the website. And what else was there? That's the main two things, really.
Cool. So did you go to that Super Bowl party last night?
I did. I fell asleep, and then I woke up at it was like 12. No, it wasn't 12. It wasn't 12. Like 1 or 2. And I was like, all right, man, I'm gonna go to this party, right? And it's my we go to my father-in-law's every year.
Yeah.
Go to a Super Bowl. And so I was like, all right, man. So I'm gonna take a quick nap. And then I remember my alarm going off, and I remember not waking up. Like I remember hearing the alarm, and I remember being like, and so I woke up. It was probably like it was right after halftime that I woke up, and then I drove over there, and I just watched the second half of the game, and I wasn't even, because like when they got to the end, I was like, dude, the Chiefs are gonna win. Like they haven't been to the Super Bowl in 50 years.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Everybody who bets must be betting against these guys, except for the people who really know what the hell's going on.
Well, even
so they're gonna place their bets.
Yeah, well, even the analysts like on ESPN were saying, "Oh, the 49ers defense are gonna beat them. Defense wins championships," and yeah, that didn't happen.
Here's the deal, man. Right? Like I don't think it's all on the up and up, bro. Because this is when I was like, okay, it's a show. They know who's gonna win the Super Bowl before they play. For real, it's a show. Okay. They know who's gonna win the Super Bowl at the start of the season.
Really, at the start of the season.
I believe that.
So like
I do.
Week 1 preseason, they're already sitting in the office. Roger Goodell, all the owners, like, hey, all right, whose turn is it?
It's high theater, bro. For real. Okay, tell me this, right? You remember when the New England Patriots, these cats went whole season, didn't lose one game.
Yeah.
And then they lose the Super Bowl. Does that make any sense? Right?
Any given Sunday, dude.
In recorded history, somebody has done this. They get all the way to the end and so this means everybody is like, yo, the Patriots. Everybody's got their money on the Patriots. If I'm trying to get rich and I'm smart and I'm not just rich,
right.
like run the world, you don't know who I am kind of rich. You know what I'm saying? And like, think about it. So me and you own some NFL teams.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And we want to be paid. What we gonna make? We're gonna make some high drama.
Right.
And so like, and if we break it down, like it's just the real Casadero and Charlie Murphy's NFL teams, like the Harlem Globetrotters and the Washington Generals.
Right.
Like, so we gotta make high drama, man. We gotta keep it, and I think that's what's going on, dude. It just seems it's too coincidental that these guys haven't been to the Super Bowl in 50 years, and then they make it all the way, right? Complete long shot for I don't even watch football, and I'm like, yo, like the Chiefs, I can't recall the Chiefs ever make it into the Super Bowl.
Well, they would have went last year, but last year they, what was it? It was the final play of the game, pretty much. They lined up. Tom Brady hikes it. He throws a pass. They intercept it. But then there's a flag thrown. And one of the Chiefs dudes was lined up off sides. Like, if he didn't line up off sides, like, that was it. It was a wrap. Kansas City was going last year.
Now, listen to me, right? These guys are professionals. Professional fucking football players.
Right.
This guy has lined up on the line how many times?
Damn.
Thousands.
You are making a
And in the
convincing
biggest
statement.
game, the biggest game of his life, this motherfucker's gonna fuck it up, right? And he's got trainers all around him, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, making sure that he's ready for this precise moment. And he gets on the line, and he's out there. And he doesn't notice that there's nobody to his left and his right because they're all behind him because he's on the wrong side of the line.
Man, it's kind of hard to argue with that.
I don't know, man.
I mean, yeah, I mean, anything's possible. But I don't, well, for one, for someone not going for 50 years to a Super Bowl, it's not, you know, I mean, there's only 32 teams and every single year.
You have to be garbage not to make it. Like, at least in 50 years, that's a lot of years, bro.
They were garbage for a long time.
But how do you even survive as a franchise? Like, how does this happen? Like, you know,
you seen those Kansas City fans? They're out there barbecuing, tailgating. I mean, football fans are fanatics, true. You know. So
that's true.
You know, I'm a diehard Redskin fan. I go to their game, go to a game once a year. Excuse me. I go to a game once a year. I got, you know, all the gear, some hoodies, some hats, you know, and they suck. They won 3 games this year, but, you know, I still rep them. You know, I still stick with them. I'm ride or die, you know, and you got those people. I mean, look at the Eagles. That was their, first championship ever? Like, yeah. So, I mean, it's not beyond belief that, you know, a team doesn't go for a long stint, especially when you got like a franchise like New England just wrapping up for the last 10 years. I mean, that's shutting down everybody in the AFC in that division. So, I mean, it's not hard to believe.
I can't be rude.
Well, I mean, look at it, you know, in basketball. I mean, it was clear that, you know, Chicago was going to win when Jordan was there. I mean, if he didn't take them 2 years break, they would have won 8 in a row. But instead, he took 2 years off and then, you know, did 3 and then took 2-year break, then got 3 more.
What Super Bowl are we on? We're on.
That was like, 54?
So this means, right? So when they first started, how many teams were there?
When they first started, well, they've had a few expansion teams added, so I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, we got Google
teams now, right?
Yeah, there's 32
so even if
now.
there was 32 teams the entire time, like they just once they couldn't beat the field to get. I mean, this it seems. And I mean, like, hey, look, I'm running the league, and you're in the league, and I don't know. I get mad at you for some reason. I don't like you, right?
Right.
And I'm running this whole show, right? I'm like, yo, you can't win the Super Bowl. Right? If you even try, I'm gonna take your team away.
Okay.
Right? You know what I'm saying? It just seems like I guess if you're running the team and you're making money, it's like, you know, there's so much money out there, right? You could I can't understand how after over 50 years these guys couldn't piece together a winning team until now.
I mean, back in the day, you had a lot of teams just dominating because it was like baseball was back in the day, where you could just dump as much money as you wanted into the team and get all the top players. And if your team had all the money in the world, like, you know, the Yankees did, then you had a beast ass team where rest of them, another team couldn't dump that much money into their team. So, I mean, they were coming up short. I mean, now you got salary caps and all that. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't find it hard to you know, I don't find it hard to believe that somebody hasn't won one in 50 years and then they come out and win it. I mean, back then it says what? There was originally 8 teams in the NFL.
Oh,
Yeah. And then
so they could they did they
well,
did
when,
so
well,
well,
that was
if they haven't done it in 50 years, they did it back when there was 8 teams. They went to the
well, hold on, that's the NFL when that was 44 to 69. In 69 they merged with the AFL, and then that's when you got, the Chiefs and all those teams. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, what was the original ones? Yeah, I don't.
But anyway,
Yeah,
I had a good time watching the game though.
That was cool.
It was a little high drama at the end. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It was cool.
And,
like they were down and then they go up. But that's what Mahomes has done all year. Is they start out slow and then next thing you know, he throws 4 touchdowns and you're like, okay, I can't do anything now.
Yeah.
So, he does that. He's a good kid. I like him. I'm just glad they beat the 49ers because that's my ex-wife's team and, she can go to hell. So I was happy to see her suffer. So.
Oh, geez. Well, hey, man, dig it.
Yeah. No, it was tight. But you see what...
Did you think Casey? Did you think they were gonna win?
I did. I did.
Started? Okay.
Why? Basically, the reason I thought they were going to win is the 49ers didn't have an offense like this. This team has a very fast-paced, high offense, and as long as their offensive line gave that dude, just a second or two, he was going to make a play. So, and I knew they could do that. But the 49ers, they kind of relied on the run and the defense stopping it. They couldn't score at will like the Chiefs did. So I kind of figured the Chiefs would pull it out.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was tight. I'm excited for this weekend, though. The XFL is starting. You remember that shit back in the day? Vince McMahon from WWE started his own football league. Well, he's starting it again.
Hold on. Okay. All right. I'm on the website.
Yeah.
The XFL official.
Yeah.
Official. 5 days. 5 days to kick off. Tickets available. Is it? Hold. What is? I don't remember this at all.
Well, see,
I thought this was arena football. But
no.
This is like
this is real football. This is real football. They got a few different rules, but it happened. When did it XFL first? They tried to compete head to head with the NFL back in, I want to say like the late 90s, maybe. Yeah, it was like 97, 98. And like the games kind of sucked at first. So then he started injecting like wrestling into the football. He started having like their wrestling announcers and then like wrestlers like go back to the locker room and start yelling at players. And, the whole wrestling mentality, So
okay,
it got shut down like after a season. Like it was just horrible. But apparently he's trying to do it like officially now. He's trying to do some real football, not some fake and wrestling entertainment football.
I got you. With I was looking at this and I just thought of something, man. Like I wonder. Like I'm going to YouTube now. I wonder if there's anybody who's tried to recreate like the football league. Like imagine you get 32 guys.
Right.
These are like in. And they can have a team around them, right? So you got 32 players, right?
Okay.
One player for each team in the NFL.
Okay.
Madden comes out, and then that's when the season starts, right? And then so these 32 guys, right? And you can have people on your team. You can have like a GM, whoever you want, right? But so you set up your team,
right,
with your players and stuff, and you play throughout the season. But everything is tracked, right? So like if you're playing a game. And because I don't know exactly how Madden works now, but basically say a player gets hurt in one game,
right?
Like they get hurt in game 1 or something like that, right? You got like a person, a system or whatever. They're like, okay, it would take this long for this person to recover from this type of thing in the real world.
Right.
So in the next game, you wouldn't be able to use that player.
Well, see, I know Madden, they got the like season managerial mode where like. Yeah, where you basically manage your team. I don't know how realistic if it goes in depth, like with like injuries and stuff like that. Like, hey, you just broke your leg, you're out for the season, or you got concussion, you're out 2 games.
Yeah, exactly. I'm talking like a straight up online recreation of what the NFL is, but with players playing on computers. And of
I mean,
course, right?
Madden's got to be pretty close to that by now. I mean,
Because I mean, I don't know. I just thought I was like, I wonder if there's like some sort of digital equivalent of football, like that's played in like a similar way. Like we got a set number of games, we got these brackets and blah, like the whole shebang. Like, and you can go, and you can watch these games, and you can bet on them.
Well, that's
yeah,
basically
bet on
fantasy
them and stuff like
football
that.
then. Like if you're not actually like that's basically what fantasy football is. You're like basically an owner of a team.
Mhm.
At the beginning of the year, you do a draft, and so like the draft comes up, you got to fill so many slots. You need a couple quarterbacks, a couple running backs, a kicker, all that, and then basically, if like somebody gets injured, you got to pull somebody off of your bench and put them in. Or you gotta go to the waiver wire and pick somebody up and put them in, or you're basically managing your team, and then it's tracked throughout the year, and like so if a quarterback scores, throws 3 touchdowns, during a game, it equivalates to so many points in fantasy. So that's basically fantasy football is what you're explaining.
Yeah, but when fantasy football is based on the actual like the real world players, right?
Yeah. So you're talking about like
Okay,
a
so
digital players, like
I'm talking like a Madden tournament
Okay.
or a video game, a football video game tournament that's structured just like the real thing.
so you sign
like
up
there's
32 people and then break it
Yep.
down like that. Like you got your
Yep,
teams,
and
you
then-
got to play games.
and then so you can have 30. You get and it's all based on and so maybe like there's like so like somebody starts their own football league, but it's all digital, right?
Right.
Then you've got people. I don't know, like maybe you would model like the whole setup of the thing, like they do the NFL. Like how do you get an NFL team? Like I don't even know how that works. Like how do you?
First, you got to have billions of dollars, and
Yeah, right. But why do you have to have billions of dollars? Like that's like how come me and you can't start a team and then just go compete with these guys?
Well, because we ain't got no money for one. But no, like basically,
But why do what I'm saying is like why do we need the money?
well,
If you can start the team,
You-
if you got players, why do you need a bunch of?
well, I
All you
mean,
should need is players and equipment, right?
but you got to pay your players. You got to pay for flights. You got to pay for a
But
stadium.
what if they'll all just play for fun? What
Well,
if you keep,
well, you need a stadium. You need employees to manage the stadium. I mean, you still need money. like, were we gonna buy some land and just build a stadium in the backyard and find players who just want to play? And I mean,
isn't that how the NFL started?
well, I guess, yeah. But I mean,
What's it?
but see, you can't even just like it's weird because the NFL isn't owned by one person. Like the teams it's franchises. You got team owners that own each team. There's not one person that owns the NFL overall as a bracket. Basically, like they're like, okay, if you want to get in on this, you're a team owner. You gotta, pay this much to get in. You got your team, and this is your salary cap, all that nonsense. And then, like, so from there, like they only let teams like. I think the last new teams they added was I think the Jaguars back in the 90s and somebody else. There was in Carolina, I think. They were the expansion teams. They haven't added any teams since then.
So is it like how to? So is it so literally it's just a bunch of people who own teams and they agree that they're only gonna play against each other.
Yeah. And then
And
so the league owners and everything has to vote if they're going to add another team, Like say we came and said, "Look, we got $10 billion. We want to start our own NFL team in this city. They don't have one. Can we get in?" Basically, they would have to vote on it and come up with, okay, well, let's let them in. Nah, fuck them, Yeah, so it's kind of like it's that good old boys club for one.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
okay,
it's
so-
old money. I mean, Robert Kraft of New England, he owns Kraft Foods and all that. So like, he's just racking in billions of dollars constantly. Like, it's all old money. Nobody young. Mark Cuban talked about before he bought the Mavericks, he wanted to buy a football team. That was one of his things, and like he just couldn't afford it. He couldn't get into it, so he bought a basketball team instead.
So when you buy the team, what are you buying?
I guess
does it cost so much because do you have to have a stadium because it's like a lot of places they have stadiums already.
That's true.
Like you don't have to build it.
Yeah, see, I don't know what you're buying into when you buy the team. Maybe you're buying the name from the NFL or something. Maybe it's something like that. Because I guess because they're called franchises, so I picture it more like, McDonald's. If you want to buy into McDonald's, McDonald's doesn't own your restaurant when you buy it. They just own the name and stuff. So I think when you're buying into it, you're just buying that name. Like, hey, I'm going to go buy the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to own that name now, and then I can do with it. I'm part of the NFL now.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
So what it is you got to have enough money, because you can make up whatever name you want.
Yeah.
But they're just if you have enough money, the league will agree to let you play against their teams.
Yeah. They'll agree to let you into their organization.
Okay, I got.
Yeah.
So basically, what this dude, Mr. McMahon,
yeah,
he was like, fuck all that. I'm gonna
start my own shit.
I'm just gonna start my own league.
Yeah, and
which anybody can do.
What's interesting about his league, though, what I was reading up on, is in the NFL you have team owners for each team. They bought into that. They own that franchise. They bought into the NFL. In the XFL, what McMahon is doing is there's no team owners. The XFL owns all the teams. So. Yeah, so he owns it all. So there's no owners with their own side agendas. There's none of that going on. And then I think too what he's doing is like basically your pay is performance based. You do good, you get paid. You do shitty, you ain't getting nothing.
So what he appoints like a manager to each, like a GM to each team?
I don't know.
And then they
I mean, they got coaches and stuff, so
I think
maybe the coach runs the team,
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. But he runs the whole shebang, huh?
Oh yeah.
Wow. There's not a lot of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 teams.
Yeah. There's 8 teams so far.
You see what he's doing? How many teams were in the original NFL?
I think it was 8.
Yeah.
Is that what I said? Yeah, 8.
Yeah, you see.
Yeah. Or no, 10. It was 10 teams.
Like, here's the deal, right? Like, so he came up with the name, and he does the TV spots and all this stuff.
Right.
I think there may be more to it than this, man. It may be like he's the. Oh, this is interesting, man. I gotta look into this because we're watching this guy. 8 teams. That's that. Well, I mean, I get you got to have an even number of teams to.
Well, yeah. There's got to be
do your brackets and everything.
Yeah.
But he could have started with 16. Maybe that was too much money for him to start with.
Yeah, but then you can't. Those 6 teams can only play each other so many times. So yeah, I guess
16. 16.
Oh, 16. Yeah.
Maybe he could have started with any even number.
Well,
8, right. He starts with 8, but he could have started with 10.
But maybe he went 8, so he didn't have to put as much money into it at first. Build a fan base, build it up, and then once he gets more money coming in, now he can expand. Like, oh, okay, we made an extra, $4 billion this year. Let's do 8 more teams.
I got you.
Yeah, it should be interesting.